Okay, so the problem showed up here. It's got an oil leak, kind of a sprawling one, spread out. So we're going to get it in here, put it up on ramps, and inspect this and see where this leak is coming from. So as we look for clues under this Caravan, there we can see a nice drop right there underneath the air conditioner. It's been falling down underneath the oil pan here. Here we have some right underneath the crankshaft. And over here, there's multiple drops that have come back underneath this frame piece. It's dripping down in a number of different places. So, okay, this 2000 Caravan, 3-liter, has a pretty serious oil leak. So we're going to be, it seems to be coming from the power end of the engine, in the area where the timing belt is. So what I've done, I've got it set up here on stands, used a couple jacks, jacked it up underneath this cross member, and then put it on some railroad ties. Also, to do this work requires a jack underneath the oil pan. The engine mount has to be removed, so that's the setup I have there. It's the block of wood and a scissors jack. So also I removed the passenger side tire so we can get at the crankshaft here, pulley, which we're going to need to move and get into timing position. First thing we're going to do here, having it up, is to take this panel out, this wheel well panel out, and there's one body panel fastener here. There's a couple more underneath, under here, and then a couple screws have to be removed here, also right under the front, under the bumper cover. Give ourselves a little room to work on this difficult to work on engine. We are going to remove the coolant, the overflow bottle. I've got a 10mm here. It's a 10mm basically screw. And then there's a small hose and a clamp underneath there that we'll have to take off. So you can see the clamp right here, lower radiator hose. Couldn't find a petcock on this vehicle anywhere to drain it, and they've got this tucked away underneath, so it's rather difficult to get a vice grip or pliers around here, but I managed to get a pliers on this and pull it out. So next we have to break this loose, drain the coolant. Got this loose. Okay, it's predominantly hitting the pan. Okay, next up we're going to take the upper radiator hose off. I'll get this out of the way. And also, I'm going to change out the thermostat here, since it's an older thermostat and they don't last forever, and one of these days it's going to get stuck open and we will have no heat. Had that happen before, so let's get the hose. Retract the hose. Necessary to break this. This hose is stuck. Really, really good. And pull it off. Take the hose. Get it out of the way for the other work that we have to do. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take some of this wiring out of the way. It's also going to make it easier to work on this vehicle. For starters here we have the distributor wire. So there's a little clip that you have to push out, this little red clip. And pushing down on this releases it. Now there's some wire down, this is also attached down here on this cover with a 10mm, this upper cover. I've already loosened this. I'm just going to take this bottom screw out, bottom 10mm. Radiator side timing cover, we'll call this. Now over here, you see this is the map sensor. Now right here, this main harness, they've got a fastener here, a plastic, like a panel type fastener, hooked onto this engine mount. So just pull that up, get that off of there. Okay, I think a good practice when you're disconnecting multiple wires is to make a little label. Got this marked distributor cap. Okay, so down here we have the air conditioning compressor. So I had to move this little locking clip. It's orange in color on this car. Okay, another connector that's in the way here is this temperature sending unit right here, mounted by the thermostat, the water inlet. In order to get that off, I'm going to have to remove the distributor cap. Distributor cap, just a couple Phillips screws. Crack the one on the other side. Okay, to get this cap out of the way, it looks like the only one that really has to be removed. This left front one. Then we can just set the cap up here, out of the way. Okay, I'm pushing through with a screwdriver here in order to release that connector. Okay, we've got all this pesky wiring up and out of the way here, labeled. I find it handy here to zip tie this wiring up out of the way, as far out of the way as possible. Okay, we're at the point now where we want to remove the engine mount, and I'm going to attempt to pull this out in one piece. Before we do that, we need to do a little work underneath and put a support under the oil pan, because when this mount is removed, this engine mount is removed, there'll be nothing to hold the engine on this end. Here's the jack I have set up with a block of wood underneath the oil pan. Necessary support when the engine mount is removed. The first thing that's in the way is this idler pulley right here. This idler pulley is 15 millimeter. Best way to get in there is with a box end wrench. Okay, next we're going to take out the engine mount bracket. Total of 7 bolts, 15 millimeter. 2 shorter ones on top, this one and this one. 2 longer ones on the bottom. Can't see the other ones behind it here. And then there are 2 on top of this unit that's on the wheel well, and 1 on the inside of the wheel well. Okay, the one behind here, that's coming with a 15 millimeter ratchet. Okay, this one, wheel well, 15 millimeter. Now to get at the other one is going to require an extension. So we're finishing up on the mount that's on the wheel well portion of it, the 2 upper bolts. And there's one of them. And then the other one. So we'll take out those 15 millimeter bolts. I'm doing this with a 3/8 inch. .3/8 15 millimeter box end wrench works good on this too. Get them going. So these upper bolts are shorter. The 2 upper ones are shorter. And this lower engine mount is a long bolt. Okay, this lower bolt presents a bit of a problem. You can see it's hitting up against the wheel well before I can pull it out all the way. But we'll be able to get it out anyway. We do have the little issue with the one screw on there, the one long bolt. So we have to put, it will come out. Not that it's easy or anything like that. I basically want to get this bracket or mount as far off the engine as you can, and then lift the bolt up. Okay, we finally got it. Now I can just take this whole unit, get it out of the way. This can be taken apart another way too. You can take it apart in two pieces, which I've done before, but this time I did it all in one.